Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is May 11th, which means it is the beginning of Believathon, which is a readathon hosted by the amazing How to Train Your Gavin. All his information will be linked down below, but essentially it is based around middle grade. So this week I have 3 middle grade books that I want to get through, as well as 2 other books that I'm planning to read during Believathon because they were on my TBR, my other TBR, and I haven't got to them yet. So the first 3 books are the first 3 books in the Dalemark Quartet series. The first one is Cart and Cwidder, and I am reading this for the prompt Poacher's Pocket Inn. Read the first book in a series. This is a reread for me. It's a very short book, basically only 200 pages, so I'm kind of hoping to read it today. It should be a fast read. From what I remember, this is about a family of travelling musicians who are travelling through Dalemark, the land that this entire series is set in, and they become tangled up in politics when a mysterious stranger joins their cart. It also has an instrument in that appears magical called a quidder. That's all I remember. This is a lot of fun. Then we have Ammet by Diana Wynne Jones. This is the second book in the series, and all I remember about this is that it's got a lot to do with the sea in it. However, apparently it also has family in it, which fits the prompt for Baba Yaga's house, read a book with family, I think. Yeah, looking forward to this one as well. I'm looking forward to all these books, I should say now, before I say that for every single book. But this is the second book on my list. Then we have book 3 in the series, which is the Spellcoats. This is for the 100 Acre Wood, read a book with a yellow cover. As you can see, this has a very yellow cover. Yeah, this is the one first I haven't read, so I have no idea what it's about. I know it's set in the same country, but hundreds of years in the past. And then we have the other 2 books I'm hoping to get to this week. I will be reading these alongside everything else because they're both kind of quite big. The first is the Iliad by Homer. And then finally we have The Rise and Fall of Classical Greece by Joshua Ober. This is about the rise and fall of classical Greek. It's non-fiction and the print is tiny, so I am terrified. Today I need to do some studying, I need to film a video, I need to edit a vlog from 2 weeks ago and get that up, and then tomorrow I need to edit last week's vlog. I would listen to an audiobook while I cook, but today I'm listening to a podcast and I'm listening to the Magnus Archives and it's really good. So that's positive. This is my first time listening to it. Here we have my soup. It's got some lentils, some chilli, some turmeric, some rosemary, some mustard seeds. It's also got carrot, butternut squash, potato, garlic, onions, parsnips, and that's it. Hello, it's Tuesday evening. It's quite late. It's like nearly 10 a.m, 10 p.m. even. It's really late. Quick reading update, quick update in general. Sorry I haven't been around very much. In the last 2 days I've read 50 pages of Cart and Cwidder. I will read more tonight. The problem is I have become addicted to the Magnus Archives. It's a podcast, it's on Spotify, and when I'm listening to it I'm pretending I'm doing research for a video I'm going to be filming next week. I am not, I am just addicted. It's a horror podcast, I love it so much. It's refueling my desire to be an archivist, which to be honest is something I've wanted to be for a very long time anyway. This is one of the reasons I love books about libraries so much. Don't have much else to say. I'm going to read a bit more of Cart and Cwidder tonight. I'm going to try and get up to page 100. I don't really have much else to update you on. I filmed a video yesterday. I still need to finish editing a vlog, and then I need to edit another vlog and the video. I also have a heap of books down here that I'm going to unhaul that I'm going to actually talk about now because I don't think I'm going to get around to doing a video on that. So first we have a series I'm not going to hold up the whole thing of because it's a lot, but it's the entire Mortal Instruments series and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. These are by Cassandra Clare. Well, this is Cassandra Clare and a series of other authors. The Mortal Instruments series is by Cassandra Clare. I am keeping other books by her. So I'm keeping the Infernal Devices series, the new series she's writing, and the Dark Artifices series. However, I'm not going to reread either this or the Mortal Instruments, so I'd rather give them to someone who'll enjoy them. We then have another series I'm getting rid of, the Cruel Prince. This is just because I've read these twice now. I'm not going to reread them again. I like them, but I don't like them enough to reread them. And to be honest, by the end, I wasn't loving them. Then we have The Beholder by Anna Bright. This is just another book that I didn't really enjoy. It was taking up space on my shelves. The reason I would have kept this is because of these beautiful sprayed edges. But yeah, I have other books with pretty sprayed edges. And then I'm getting rid of All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. I just didn't enjoy this either. Or I enjoyed it, but not enough. A Burnable Book by Bruce Holsinger. I read this when I was like 13 and kept it. And I mean, it's made quite a big impression on me, but I'm not going to reread it. This is the thing, a lot of these I'm just not going to reread, so I'm getting rid of them. We then have a few contemporaries. The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. And The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This isn't actually the edition I read. I've never read this edition. I borrowed an edition of someone in school and read that. This is my own copy. Anyway, I'm going to go read now. Read Cart and Cwidder. I might go have a shower first, and I will see you soon. Me and Madrigal are going to demonstrate a high five. I bet he won't do it now that the camera's on him. No, let's try. Let's try that again, Maddie. Ready? It is like a minute to midnight and I've just finished my first book of Believathon, Cart and Cwidder. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. There are 2 scenes from this I remember so vividly from when I read this when I was younger. I am quite amazed they've stuck with me, and it's kind of insane that they have. This book reminds me a lot of folklore. I will talk more about it in the morning when I have my camera in a tripod and I'm not just holding it. This is gonna sound a bit weird and like I've been listening to too much of the Magnus Archives, but there was just an unexplained banging either from somewhere in the house or from just outside or just behind the house. My mum heard it as well. We went downstairs to investigate. There's nothing there. I'm just filling in my reading journal for thingy-mabobby, Cart and Cwidder, and then I'm going to listen to a bit of Hello from the Magic Tavern. I finished, as I told you last night, Cart and Cwidder. Yeah, I read all of this in about an hour. It was very much like I remembered. I really enjoyed it. Cart and Cwidder follows a family of travelling musicians who are moving through Dalemark, a place divided into North and South Dalemark. The family is made up of Moral, Brid and Danya, and Lenia and Clennon are the parents. However, one day they take on a mysterious passenger, and a few days after that, their father is killed. And the story takes off from there. It's quite dark for a middle grade. I kind of realised this on this read through, but it was really good and I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Today I'm going to start Drowned Ammet. I'm also hoping to start the Iliad. I also need to do some editing and some work. So yeah, we'll see how far I get into these, but this is my plan. Hello. It's now Friday. I managed to miss a whole day of vlogging. This week is going really well. I've decided to stretch this vlog out to all of Believathon instead of just week 1. So, it's Friday. It's nearly the weekend. I know I've done nothing this week, but I'm actually feeling fairly motivated, which is weird given that it is like the weekend, and normally this is, well, I say like wind down, I never really wind up. Normally this is like when I do nothing, but I'm feeling motivated. So I'm currently editing a vlog. I still haven't done any editing this week. I still have 3 videos that I just haven't got up. And then once I finish editing this vlog, I'm going to do the rest of it tomorrow. I'm going to read a bit of Drowned Ammet, and then I'm going to start the Iliad because I feel like I've got the brain power for this today. I had such an amazing book club meeting last night with some of my friends from Twitter. We all read The Last Magician together, and that was amazing. And yeah, these are today's reading plans. These have been most of the week's reading plans and I just haven't got to them, but today's gonna be the day, hopefully. Hello, it's a new week. It's week 2 of Believathon. It's Monday. As I said, I'm making this vlog a 2-week-long vlog, so yeah, it might be quite long. Hopefully I'll get a lot of reading done this week. I'm going to talk about all the books I have left on my planned Believathon TBR, and then I will get into talking more about what I'm going to be doing. So the first is Drowned Ammet. I am on page 121 of this, so I've got like 200 pages left. Then we have the Spellcoats. I'm gonna drop something. The Crown of Dalemark and the Earthsea Quartet. This and Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales, which is probably the one I'm most excited for. Now, the thing about this series is I know when I read them really fast. Like, I read all of the first one, Cart and Cwidder, in an hour. So I can get through this series very quickly. But I'm not. So I'm going to just at the moment focus on finishing Drowned Ammet, and if I don't finish Drowned Ammet, or if I finish Drowned Ammet, I might then check the genie wishes and see if one of those can help, and maybe if I have very little time left, jump to the final prompt and complete, I cannot remember, read Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales, because at the moment I am just not reading. I'm procrastinating a lot. And I think in general this is because of quarantine, but I also think it's because I keep going, oh, this week I'll be productive, this week I'll do a lot. Which just isn't that realistic for me, because I know when I try to force myself to be productive, I'm not. So I'm going to just try and focus on beginning to get my life back to normal. So yeah, I'm feeling actually quite good about this week. I also need to get my sleep schedule back on track, which is much harder. I've been like having a very bad sleep schedule and just very in general really bad sleep patterns. So like last night I fell asleep at 10 and woke up at 1:30 really certain there was someone in my room, and it was not a nice feeling, and I ended up being so like freaked out that I didn't go back to sleep until 4, which obviously isn't healthy. I need to start getting a healthy sleep pattern. I need to start like going to bed at 10 or 11 and sleeping all the way through the night. And yeah, these are just things that were really easy for me before lockdown, and now lockdown's happened and I'm really struggling. I also need to tidy my room. That's another thing. I think when I've got a messy room, like messy desk, messy mind, I'm the same. When my room's messy, I'm a mess. Yeah, and I need to start using my bullet journal more effectively. So these are my plans in general this week. I'm not going to try and be really productive or uber productive or anything. I'm just going to try and take things one day at a time, try and be more mindful of what I'm doing while I'm in lockdown, because it's a struggle. I'm struggling with it. I think we all are struggling with it a bit. I'm going to read more of Drowned Ammet. Oh, and also I have been reading the Iliad. I'm still only 20 pages into this, and I'm going to try and read a bit more of this today, maybe one more book. I do think that I'm going to have to shorten my general TBR. I might end up knocking the Brandon Sandersons off. It will leave me with A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, which is huge and I need to get a move on, and Ghost Written by David Mitchell, and The Rise and Fall of Classical Greece by Joshua Ober, which I don't have with me right now. So yeah, this seems like a much more manageable TBR. Like 3 books, once I finish all of these. But once Believathon is over, having 3 books seems much more easy than having the 6 books I had before. Yeah, I'm kind of been in a bit of a reading slump this month, and that's been bad. I'm not sure what put me into it. I think it was like the end of Owls, and having read so much in that month and suddenly going into this month, I felt like, yeah, didn't have much, yeah, I lost all my motivation to read. And I think that I'm reading to such a huge book as Crescent City right at the beginning of the month, and at times I felt like I was really pushing through Crescent City. I ended up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars, and while I enjoyed it, I felt like there were some bits that were so long. I feel like that really sort of derailed my reading plans, but it's a new week, so we can do this. I'm gonna have a bath and read some of Diana Wynne. I've read some of this today. I'm gonna read more in the bath, try and finish it. We're on top of things, finally. Hello, it's Tuesday. It's still Believathon, of course. I'm going to give a quick reading update. So I've read a bit more of Ammet. I'm now up to page 197. And I'm on part 4, and I realised I never actually explained what this book or series is about. So the world this is set in is kind of hard to describe, but if you imagine a world that essentially had a Celtic era, Celtic style culture, so it had the culture of some of the music, some of the naming culture is very similar, and some of the countryside seems very similar to countryside in Great Britain and the sort of land of Great Britain. However, then the Vikings came and the Viking culture and the Celtic culture sort of merged. The way the land is split up is quite Celtic, so the land is essentially split up into earldoms. I say Celtic, that's more Anglo-Saxon. Sorry, most of my stuff about medieval periods, well, pre-medieval periods, I guess. Most of my stuff about the period before William the Conqueror came to England is predominantly based off what I know about vague medieval manuscripts, but I saw most of these medieval manuscripts in one exhibition, so they've all kind of merged together in my head and my camera's really wonky. So it's essentially a merge of Celtic and Nordic customs. However, it's set in a very different landscape to ours, and the landscape is changed somehow in book 3, which obviously I haven't started yet, the Spellcoats, which is set many hundreds of years before the first 2 books. I am realising I'm making this series sound very complex. In Drowned Ammet, we follow Ammet, or Mitt as he is more commonly known, who lives in a seaside town. And this, well, I say seaside town, it's more of essentially a fishing port. And he is a sailor. However, he has another true ambition, and that is to get back at the people who he believes killed his father, because they were part of the Free Hollanders, a group trying to free South Holland, because of course Holland is split into North and South, because this world is insanely complex unless you're reading the series. He wants to get back at the Free Hollanders by somehow betraying them. So he joins this group of freedom fighters, and they begin to attempt to deal with the person in charge, the Earl, Had, I think his name is. However, we also follow Had's son's Navis's 2 children, Hilda and Yen, neither of whom are very happy to be the grandchildren of an Earl. And they're also obviously the children of the 3rd youngest son, so they really have no importance apart from Hilda is going to marry a very important lord. So we follow these 2 families, Mitt and his mother and Hilda and Yen, as Mitt prepares to try and kill the Earl with a bomb. Unfortunately, things go horribly wrong and he finds himself on the run. There's a lot of other stuff in this, specifically about religion, which I find really interesting. I am noticing how slow the middle of this book is. It's very sort of atmospheric and it's building the tension, and I know what it's building the tension towards because I remember something that happens around the point where I stopped reading this the first time round, but it is quite a slow middle. a lot of the books in this series are actually. A lot of them involve a lot of travelling. And while dramatic stuff happens in the travelling, it's not like in your face action, it's a very insidious sort of fear and fear of being caught. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm currently doing some tidying and putting books back on my bookshelves, and of course listening to the Magnus Archives because I really love that podcast. I only discovered it a week ago and I'm up to episode I discovered it last Monday and I'm currently up to episode 64. It's great. It definitely gives me some nightmares, but we're going to ignore those. Please actually leave recommendations for horror books down below, because after listening to the Magnus Archives, I'm really getting into horror. And while I have some things, I do not have many. I finished my second book for Believathon, Drowned Ammet, just now. I'm with my cat. I'm giving this, I think, 4 out of 5 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as Cart and Cwidder. As I said before, this book has a very sort of slow middle and the ending almost sort of peters off. It's very strange, the ending. Good morning, it's Wednesday. I finished Drowned Ammet yesterday. I'm going to do a longer update later. I just wanted to let you know that I've decided to join in the Readathon hosted by Clara, which is happening next week. So today I have some filming to do, but I'm hoping to try and finish the Spellcoats. I read a bit of this last night. I read 30 pages last night. I am not sure what I think of it yet. It's told in first person, which is a bit of a jump from the other books, which are all told in third, but I still really like the writing style, and I think once I get into it I'll really enjoy it. And then maybe I'll end up starting the Crown of Dalemark today. I also kind of want to read some more of the Iliad because I haven't read any of it apart from book 1, and I feel like I need to read some more, so I might start my day off by doing that. Hi there, it's later and I'm going to go and quickly grab my books and then I will come and talk to you. So today has been interesting. I filmed a bit this morning and I need to edit that probably tomorrow, and I went for a walk and I finished listening to season 2 of the Magnus Archives, so that's a positive. I haven't done much reading. In fact, I've done no reading apart from the reading I did like midnight last night. So I've started the Spellcoats, but I haven't got any further, and unfortunately I'm going to need to do a bit of work because my tutor emailed me and I mentioned that I was planning to do the final essay that we don't actually need to do because of COVID. They've cancelled it, and I mentioned I was planning to do it anyway just to see how I'd improved, etc. Obviously he didn't have to mark it. I was just going to do it for my own gratification, and he was like, oh, that's great, if you send it to me I'll give you some feedback. And I was like, I wasn't planning to do it by the deadline, so now I'm going to try and get that done by the 26th of May, which means I need to catch up on some other work as well. So yeah, probably gonna try and read more of this tonight in study breaks. Thought I'd quickly talk about Drowned Ammet. I finished this yesterday. It was a very slow ending and quite slow in the middle, but I really enjoyed it and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The Spellcoats is really weird because it is written in first person, and I don't really know how to respond to that. Like, it just feels weird reading in first person when the rest of the series has been written in third. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hello, it's now Friday. It's Friday in the second week of Believathon, and I finally finished Spellcoats last night. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. This is really weird to begin with. However, once you work out what's going on, it makes a lot of sense, and I really enjoyed that. Also, the way it's written at first really threw me. It reminds me a lot, actually, in the way it's written of A Wizard of Earthsea. However, I did end up enjoying this more. I really enjoyed the way that this was written, and I really liked the note at the end. So yeah, I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Like the rest of the Crown of Dalemark series, this is about, like the rest of the Dalemark quartet, this is about a journey. In it, we follow Tanaqui, sorry, there's another character called Tanaqui. In it, we follow Tanaqui, her brothers Hern and Duck and her sister Robin as they go on a journey away from their home where they are being threatened. And along the way they kind of realise that they have to defeat this evil wizard who is lurking at the edge of the river, Cancredon, who is evil and who is turning the river against them and infecting the land that they live in. So I've started and I've read about 70 pages of The Crown of Dalemark. I'm in the middle of a chapter right now. I need to finish that before I start work. And this might be my favourite of the series so far, especially the way it began. So in this, we're following Mitt, who we followed in Drowned Ammet, who, I can't say much else about him because it ruins Drowned Ammet, but anyway, we're following Mitt, who we followed in Drowned Ammet. We're also following, roughly 200 years in the future, following Maywyn, who is the daughter of a museum tour guide for a palace, which has kind of given me hints about what's going to happen in the other storyline, the one about Mitt, which is in the past. Hello, it's Saturday, second to last day of Believathon. I have a lot of The Crown of Dalemark to read. I'm currently on page 74. So yeah, I need to finish this. I need to do some work. It's about 9 o'clock on the final day of Believathon in the evening. I'm still reading The Crown of Dalemark. I have about 100 pages left of this, then I have one book left, Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales. I'm not even thinking about the Tombs of Atuan. So once I finish this, I'm going to pick up Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales, and I'm going to count it as a win if I can finish it before I fall asleep. Hey, it's after midnight, but I've just finished Saving the Stronghold. I just finished Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales. Technically, I didn't read it in the time, but I'm counting it as read. Hello! So, it's the end of Believathon. It's actually about a month later. I'm editing my blog and realised I forgot to do a wrap-up. Believathon was so much fun. I need to stop by saying that. Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin did an amazing job as always. It was great. So that was amazing. I'm now going to quickly talk about what I read, sorry. So I ended up reading the entire Dalemark Quartet by Diana Wynne Jones. I talked about the plots of these, I think, in the video, roughly. Cart and Cwidder, 4.5 stars, Drowned Ammet, 4 stars, the Spellcoats, 4 stars, and The Crown of Dalemark, 4.5 stars. The Crown of Dalemark was possibly my favourite because of the way it brought the other 3 books together. However, I did find the ending a little bit too fast, which is why it wasn't a 5-star read. I then read Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales by Anna James, and I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars again. I didn't love it as much as book 1 in the series, but it was still really adorable and amazing, so yeah, still absolutely adored it. Again, thank you to Gavin for organising all of this. I'm going to go now. And I will see you in my next video. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. I hope you enjoyed Believathon. If you did it, please let me know what you read. Bye!